When that light's to staying red, that means it's all right.
Today is the day I will change my luck. I will find 3 pennies and they'll be heads up. I will walk like the queen in my tennies and jeans, 'cause I know where I come from. From the stars and the sun, from that magical one. I am part of this thing called life. From the known to unseen, everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. I am one with this thing called life. Yesterday is the day I'll remember to see. Only good, only God happening in you and me. I will not forget all the treasure to me, 'cause I know where I come from. From the stars and the sun, from that magical one. I am part of this thing called life. From the known to unseen, everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. I am one with this thing called life. Yesterday is the day I'll be more of myself. Love my skin, where I've been, and everyone else. No more push, no more pull, simply go as I flow, 'cause I know where I come from. From the stars and the sun, from that magical one. I am part of this thing called life. From the known to unseen, everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. From the stars and the sun, from that magical one. I am part of this thing called life. From the known to unseen, everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. I am one with this thing called life. I am loved by this thing called life. Woo!
Thank you so much. What a wonderful way to begin this celebration. We are one in this wonderful thing called life. And I would like to welcome all of you here to Unity of Hagerstown, to all of you folks that are here joining us in person and those of you on live stream and Facebook. We are blessed indeed to be here. Thank you for your beautiful rendition of the blessing that is. So we come together, and I'm Barbara, and I'm assisting Sandy today. Be gentle and kind with me as I play. All right. So now, as we settle in, we will come into a moment of prayer as we center ourselves and breathe into this space and open our hearts. If you're comfortable, to close your eyes and let go of things that distract us, the busyness, and we just breathe in deeply into the awareness of God within, and that God is all around us. And I settle into a conscious moment of appreciation. All that I could ever need may be found here in divine mind, brimming with divine ideas. Overflowing with gratitude, I open my mind, I open my heart, and I open my ears that I might be inspired, that I feel myself one with all that it is. And so it is. Amen. I didn't move the slide, so I'm sorry. Welcome. Okay.
I'll
wait
put
there.
it in there.
Okay. So now, if you will join me, please, in reciting together our mission statement. Unity of
Hagerstown, a welcoming community, embraces spiritual awakening through affirmative prayer and meditation, creating a positive path of abundance and living for all.
Thank you.
for today is prosperity. Sunday, June 9th, 2024. Sometimes I may worry, wondering if I will have enough of what I need. If thoughts of lack or limitation arise, I lift my thoughts from the things of the world to tell the truth of God. I focus my mind on the richness of divine life within me. I feel calm and assured as I remember I live in an abundant universe and am heir to everything God is. Even when my worldly fortunes shift, I am abundant in spirit. As I align my thinking with divine mind in prayer, I become receptive to divine ideas that prosper me. I claim prosperity and feel empowered as I do. My prosperity stems from my oneness with God. I count my blessings, feel grateful, and trust with understanding faith I have enough. Please join me in the focus on the screen. I focus on the goodness of God and know prosperity. One more time. I
Focus on the goodness of God
and know prosperity.
Thank you, Eugene. And now is our time of coming together, greeting our neighbors, greeting each other with a handshake, a hug, a namaste. And as Reverend Sandy always says, this is not a time for us to give our life stories or catch up on what life has for all of us, but a time to meet and greet. So, we do that now.
Can I go? Yeah, okay. Hey friends, I want to say hello. There, is that good? Okay, yeah. Okay, and just let you know I bless you, I love you, I appreciate you so much. I'm so glad you're part of this Unity community. It's getting loud in here now, so I'm gonna go, but know that you are loved. Please put a comment down in the comment section and support each other. Yeah, see you later.
We had an exposure. We're being careful. We're fine. We're not sick.
Open my heart, I am willing to be the change I wish to see. And I know it's all love. I am willing to listen to that still small voice in me. I am willing to open my mind. I am willing to be the change I wish to see. And I know hope in my life. I am willing to be the change I wish to see. And I know, yes I know, I can trust. I am willing to listen to that still small voice in me. Yes, I am willing to listen to that still small voice in me.
Amen. Thank you, Brent and Patty. Beautiful music as always. And thank you, Barbara, for opening up this service in such a loving way. So, it's good to see everybody. Let me just say that. We are starting a 2-week series today, and it's having to do, in a way, with new beginnings, which June is full of new beginnings, right? Graduations and weddings, and really every day can be a new beginning for us. However, there are things that may keep us from making a good start with our new beginning, and that would be considered the shadow within us. Those unhealed aspects of our life, it could be generational, it could be what we have experienced in our life that is there, and it, if not processed, tends to cause one to be a bit reactive, shall we say, at times. Are you laughing at me? No. So, before we get into that, there's something I want to share. Yesterday at our dance workshop, which was fabulous, by the way, for anybody who wants to come to the next one, it's in September. Candace gave out these little cards. You just picked a card and see, had different sayings. And the one I picked was, the greater my level of discomfort, the greater my breakthrough. So keep that in mind as we talk about our shadow, okay? Before we get into the shadow, though, there's something I want to tell you, and that is about the idea of wabi-sabi. You may be familiar with it, and it does tie in with shadow work, my friends, so bear with me. I know I tend to hop around sometimes, but it hopefully all ties together. Okay, so wabi-sabi is kind of a Japanese aesthetic that really sees the imperfection of things, the transience nature of things. It's sometimes described as beauty that's imperfect, beauty that's found in the shadows, beauty that's incomplete, perhaps. It's a concept derived from the Buddhist teaching of impermanence, and it has been said that wabi-sabi is the most characteristic concept or feature of traditional Japanese idea of beauty. So in the West, we have kind of the idea of perfection in beauty, right? Well, in Japan, it's just the opposite. It is seeing the broken parts and the beauty in that. Okay? So an object that has wabi-sabi could be said to kind of bring about a sense of spiritual longing or wistfulness, serenity as well. The words wabi and sabi do not translate very well into English. But as a side note, I liked this idea so much that I had 2 kittens I named Wabi and Sabi. One was gray, one was completely black. And I thought, okay, beauty in the shadows, here we go. But so Wabi really translates as more of a rustic elegance, if you will, or quietness, and the term can be applied to both nature or human-made objects, and sabi is kind of the serenity or beauty that comes with age, when the life of an object and its impermanence becomes apparent. There's maybe a patina on it, or some wear, tear, or visible signs of repair. I'm sure you're familiar with the idea of the bowls that are cracked and prepared with gold. Right? We did this at a women's retreat, and that is not real gold. But I thought that was kind of a nice little visual for you. My man, I'm So, there we go. About 700 years in Japan, particularly among the nobility, they understood that this concept was key for enlightenment. This imperfection was like one of the first steps in becoming to know that we are greater than ourselves. So it's, like I said, it's often condensed to just wisdom in simplicity, or beauty in shadows, or flawed beauty, but it goes a little bit deeper than that. So for today and for next week as well, we are going to be looking at the beauty found within our own shadows, the wisdom found within our own shadows. As we move towards the summer solstice, in which the light begins to diminish and the shadows, the nighttime, becomes a little bit longer, I thought it'd be a good time to bring this into our awareness in a greater way. Brene Brown tells us, only when we are brave enough to explore the darkness will we discover the infinite power of our light. So our shadow, as I said, is built from our life experiences. Every time we have a less than positive experience, if we don't process that, it's added to our shadow, in which we suppress those feelings. And then they come out in unusual ways. So, too often when we're doing inner work, we start feeling uncomfortable or fearful among those emotions that are buried deep. And so what do? Instead of leaning into it, the typical reaction is to go get busy with something else, right? Busy with, housework or watching TV, whatever it is that distracts you. We tend to do that instead. And if we were to allow those feelings to be felt, we feel it to heal it, right? We allow those thoughts to be heard. We come to accept that this too is part of who we are. We move into the beauty of it. We see the ability, the opportunity to change. We see that the shadow really does have a lot to teach us. So ideally, as we grow in awareness of our shadow self, and we develop the emotional and spiritual tools needed to process and thus release those experiences stored there, we don't we are not at their mercy anymore. We are not as reactive. If we don't allow the shadow work to be done, then we end up carrying those experiences as unhealed wounds, and we know that hurt people. We lash out at those we love. Maybe not all the time, but it will bubble up. So just as our body uses physical pain to signal us that healing work needs to happen, our psyche uses this emotional pain to catch our attention and say, hey, here is an opportunity to heal, to grow here. Richard Rohr tells us, invariably, when something upsets you and you have a strong emotional reaction out of proportion to the moment, your shadow self has just been exposed. So watch, pay attention, be mindful of what's going on. I know that there are many here who have done much inner work, and they have a pretty good awareness of their shadow self. I realize that. I'm probably preaching to the choir here. However, I will say that for me, I have found that it's like layers of an onion. It goes and goes and goes. And I'm not complaining about that, or else I'd have to change my wisdom. I'm not complaining about that. I'm really not, because there is growth, opportunity in doing this work. and taking and pausing and saying, why am I reacting right now? What's going on within me? Our culture doesn't really teach us to deal with this. It teaches us more to fear the shadow, to avoid it through various mechanisms. And in unity, there's also an undercurrent that can be seen of affirming the darkness away. This can lend itself to toxic positivity, making no room for processing if we don't allow the feelings to be felt. Okay, so Rumi tells us, but that shadow has been serving you. What hurts you blesses you. Darkness is your candle. Your boundaries are your quest. You must have both shadow and light. Listen and lay your head under the tree of awe. I love that quote. Our shadow shows us how to move forward. It brings us to the light. But the truth is, until we acknowledge it, until we allow it to speak, it remains with us. Another quote from Richard Rohr, the closer you get to the light, the more of your shadow you see, my friends. So when we learn to move through the fear surrounding our shadow, when we move through the discomfort of feeling those emotions, because let's face it, they're usually pretty yucky, we realize that this is not the enemy. It's simply the other half of light. Our goal is an integrated wholeness, embracing both inner light and inner darkness, transcendent wholeness, if you will. So yes, we are the light of the world. Absolutely. We're already whole and complete. Yes, darkness is an illusion, as is taught by many faith traditions. The world we live in, though, is different. There is an absolute reality, which is the level of spirit is experienced through spiritual experiences. It's knowing perfect oneness, or as Course in Miracles tells us, seeing with the vision of Christ, seeing the Spirit present everywhere. And this could be called reality with a capital R, the absolute. It's unchanging, it's only good, only love, only God. And then there is the relative reality, our human experience, which is we experience through our five senses as impermanent and is, we process it really through our logical thinking and emotions. So, Lori Boyd, who is the author of Dark Matters, Discovering Wholeness in the Shadow, states this reality in which relative reality in which infinite oneness manifests itself into this physical universe is that reality. And our experience of the reality of the real, let me start over again. I should have put it on a slide so you can read it for yourself, but I wanted you to get this quote. Okay, so she is speaking about the relative. This is the reality in which infinite oneness manifests itself into this physical universe, and our experience of the relative is governed by our limited human ego consciousness. Okay? She goes on to say, we live in both of these realities, the absolute and the relative. We experience the illusion of separation, but can also experience the deep connection of the divine. We see God, and we also see suffering. So if we ignore the human experience and focus solely on the spiritual, without processing the emotions, this is considered a spiritual bypass. Okay? We are bypassing our human experience and trying to get somewhere where we're not going to be able to quite reach it because we have too much to process. Okay? So what if we are here on earth to bring an awareness of the absolute reality into the relative, an awareness of God present everywhere into our human experience. Having this human journey while remaining centered in the consciousness of oneness when we can. When we can. Because we forget our divinity at times. And I say this not so anybody can feel shame or guilt in doing that. It just happens because we are having this human experience. We forget it, we get lost in the illusion. Boyd suggests that this is a built-in feature of the human experience. It's necessary to have an ego in order to experience relationships, to experience the multiplicity of life, if you will. So why else would the oneness choose to manifest as the many for that experience of relationship? So we were born in a state in which we have no sense of separation. Babies don't recognize it until after they grow a little bit, they start realizing, oh, these belong to me. These are my fingers. That's not the words they use. They just say, oh, this is cool. These are my toes. And this is the skin boundary. And then as we continue to develop, we begin to think our own thoughts, speak our own words. And that is the mind boundaries. All of a sudden, yes, I am saying this. It's like around, I guess, 2 years old. I want this. Or maybe it's 3, I don't know. Yeah. And then we become, as we continue to develop, aware of the rules of society in which we are expected to conform. And we begin to draw a line between what is acceptable to us, not necessarily to society, but to us, and what is not. And this is the persona or shadow boundary. And too often, we are taught to see a different culture or different people as beyond this boundary, as the other. But as Marianne Williamson tells us, there is no opening our hearts to God without opening our hearts to each other. For our God-given purpose on this earth is to love one another. So our spiritual work really is to dissolve that boundary, to see through the illusion of separation, even while we are still having this ego, but to see that it is an illusion. And we can't do that without first looking within to see our own biases and prejudices, to see our own shadow as well, and then to see that as an opportunity for healing, to see what chips or cracks are there, and we know that those cracks let the light in, right? To see the growth opportunity, the beauty found there in the shadows. So to see really that our relative self, our human self, and our absolute self, our higher self, our true self, are one. That it is a wholeness there. What goes on with our relative self affects the expression of our absolute. What goes on with our absolute self definitely affects our relative. Have you ever gotten this thought when a song comes on, oh, that song is all about me right now. I believe that is your higher self trying to get your attention, saying, listen, there's a message I want to give you. So being spiritual means being fully human, my friends. It doesn't mean putting a smile on our faces and trying to numb over the pain of our emotions. It doesn't mean putting on a persona of holier than thou. We are human, having a human experience. We're going to mess up sometimes, Pema Chodron, a Buddhist monk, tells of a time when digging for the foundation of a retreat center, Gambo Abbey, and they hit bedrock. And when digging, and a small crack appeared. A minute later, water was dripping out, And an hour later, the flow was stronger and the crack was wider. And spiritual growth is kind of like that. We tap into a spring of living water within us that has been encased by the hardening of our hearts, perhaps. And when we do shadow work without trying to ignore it or determinedly try to fix it, just staying present with it, it softens us so that we might open more. It opens us. And we need to have a certain amount of faith in this process, faith in the presence of God within, because it is uncomfortable and it can be scary to do. So next week we're going to talk more about the process of processing the shadows so that we can do some healing work. Today, though, let's begin with knowing that we have everything needed within us to do this work, that there's no reason to be afraid. We have a faith in God within. Brother David Steindl-Rast tells us, God embraces you as you are, shadow and light, everything. God embraces it by grace. And grace, being a quality of God, is found within you as well as without. You have the source of grace within you, just as you have the source of love within you, as the source of wisdom within you. We are connected eternally to that. So before we move into a time of meditation, I'm going to invite you to join me in our affirmation. Together, with faith in God, I walk through the valley of the shadow. So let's go ahead and get comfortable for a moment or two as we move into this guided meditation, followed by a period of silence, ending with a beautiful song by Brent Patty. With faith in God, I walk through the valley of the shadow. There are experiences in life that aren't easy to view. But with faith, we can walk through these experiences. Faith gives us courage and confidence. With faith, we don't need to sit down in self-pity or despair. We don't need to feel helpless or hopeless. We have the strength to face what has to be faced. We meet what has to be met. And we walk through the valley of the shadow to the other side, to the light of God. With faith in God, I walk through the valley of the shadow, where before all seemed dark, there is a ray of light and love that guides us. So let us activate this quality of faith in a deeper way, this power of faith. And we do that through setting an intention and affirming that this is the truth of who we are, the absolute truth. We have all the faith that we need to do what is ours to do. We have the faith of God within us. So I invite you to quietly create your own affirmation of faith that you can use for the remainder of this meditation. And it could just be the word faith, or I have faith. I am faith. The source of all faith is within me. And as you choose some words that speak to you, I invite you to silently repeat them, using them to activate that power of faith within you, to deepen your faith. deepen your faith in your abilities as you go through this human experience. To deepen your faith in the presence of God with you always. Faith. I have faith in the silence. As we bring this time of meditation, this time of communion to a close, I invite you to just continue to sit restfully and either join in with the song or let it wash over.
I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is sacred love. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, go inside to find my God. I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. Go inside to find my God. I'll go inside and find God.
Beautiful. Thank you, thank you. Now I invite you to join me in our prosperity affirmation. Together, prosperity flows freely through our church, nourishing our ministry while enriching the lives we touch. We are grateful stewards of all that is given, using it wisely to create a legacy of love and service. Amen to that.
Because I believe in love, and I give. Because I believe in love, and I give. Because I believe in love, and love is given to me, and joy I give. Because I believe in joy, yes I give. Because I believe in joy, and I give. Because I believe in joy, and joy is given to me, and truth will I give. Because I believe in truth, yes I give. Because I believe in truth, will I give. Because I believe in truth, and truth is given to me. Oh, love I give. Because I believe in love, yes I give. Because I believe in love, yes I give. Because I believe in love, and love is given to me. Let's sing that again. I give because I believe in love, yes I give. Because I believe in love, yes I give. Because I believe in love, and love is given to me, and joy is given to me. Yes, truth is given to me. Oh, love is given to me.
Yeah, yeah. So, I don't know about you, but I love their music. And if you love their music too, then you are in for a real treat, because in July, the second Sunday in July, they're going to be doing a lesson in song. So, just to back up a little bit, I am taking off the month of July. That's right. Yeah. The Board of Trustees and their infinite wisdom has chosen to grant me this, and I'm so happy about it. Yes. And I'm going to ask each and every one of you to come and support the speakers that we have lined up. We have a wonderful array. Beginning with June 30th, we have Dance Alchemy coming and doing their beautiful dances. So you'll get to know what we do in the workshops a little bit, and I know you're going to want to come. And then on the first Sunday in July, Ann Baker is going to be speaking, and she's always such a powerful speaker. The second Sunday, Brandon Patty. The third Sunday, Paula Jalanis, and the fourth Sunday is a mini sound bath with Sabrina Madison. So yes, please come out and support all of these fine people who are covering this for me. Now, I do have a few more announcements. That wasn't it. We have a noodle float today, noodle slide today, supporting our resident Washington County monk, Buddhist monk, and that is at 4 p.m. If you have bought tickets, that's okay. I think there's probably rooms left. You can just pay at the door. Our speaker series with Reverend Linda Martello-Witsa continues on Wednesday. If you had come before and you're not coming to this one, please cross your name off the list so I don't count you. If you want to come to this one, please add your name to the list on the table in the foyer. Okay, next it is next Thursday. It's the Minute of Unity. Is that, do I have the date right? Okay. Okay, very good. And then on the 23rd, for those of you who may not have heard, Madonna passed early Thursday morning. Very quickly, she went very quickly, and her family has reached out and wanted to do a remembrance of some sort, and so we're going to have remembrance on the 23rd. We're going to have service as normal at 11, hopefully ending a little bit early so people can go to the restroom, then come back for the remembrance service and have a pop-up, because you know she loved pop-up. I mean, she did. So come and support this. Support the family and friends who will be coming for the service. Some are only coming for the remembrance. Whatever they choose to do is good for us. You know, we're just honored to be able to do this with them. So, okay. On the 26th of June is a very special gathering complete with chanting and wisdom teaching by a wandering monk, different monk, Brian Loutman, who grew up in this county, and he has spoken at Unity before, although it's been a while because he's been off wandering, but he's got a lot of wisdom to share. He also plays the harmonium. It's a fantastic thing. Evening. There are flyers in the back if you want more information. I encourage everyone to come to that. I think it's going to be good. Our Saturdays Walk and Talk, they are still going on, and there is a sign-up sheet being passed around for the Zion Soup Kitchen. This is for the July one. We took June off, which Zion was very understanding because we had no one coming to us. So our regular crew was away, basically. And then also there's another sign-up sheet for volunteering at the booth that we set up at Pride Fest. And the setup involves putting together a canopy and putting a table and information there, free information, and we'll also need help tearing down that too. So whatever you can do to help that will be great. Okay, so at this point we're going to say goodbye to our Facebook friends, and just, you know, again, we have such a great appreciation for you being part of this community. We love you, we appreciate you. We see the light that you are. Thank you for being here.